Alright, so today I want to talk about burdens and responsibilities, because today I saw a couple, like husband and wife, and the husband, he was taking a kid on the stroller, and the wife was behind him with another kid, and the wife was, I don't know, like complaining about some shit, and you could see that the husband, he's like, he doesn't want to listen to this shit. And yeah, the wife keeps on going and going, and they're just walking, and I passed them, and I'm reminded of like all the times that I've seen something like that, and all the times that has happened to me, where a girl just complains about some bullshit and you're stuck there. You can't leave, you have to listen to her, and you have to be there for her and pay attention and try to just deal with the situation. And maybe she's talking about some nonsense, and it's the opposite way too. Like maybe there's a guy, there's a girl, and the girl is like, fuck this guy, and he's just complaining about some dumb shit, or he's creating like nonsensical problems for the girl, and she just can't take it. But she or he, they have to listen to that bullshit, because now they're in a relationship, they have responsibilities together, they're each other responsibilities. Like if a man got a woman and they've been together for a year or two, obviously there's some sort of connection, and there's a relationship, and the relationship, one sec, motorcycles. Yeah, since the relationship has been going on for such a long time, it's like you're kind of locked into it now, and you're responsible for the other person. So you can't just tell them like, fuck off, stop talking about dumb shit. You kind of have to listen, and you have to be there for them. Otherwise, that's not the right thing to do, just to quit and like leave the girl when you're already so far into it. And this is what happens when you start dating women. You're gonna date women, and sometimes they're gonna piss you off. Sometimes they're gonna complain about dumb shit. Same thing for women dating guys. You're gonna meet a lot of guys that are needy, that are gonna get so attached to you, and you're gonna get so mad at them, and you're not gonna be able to take it anymore. And that's the shitty thing about relationships, is when you create a relationship with someone else, you put yourself in this world of responsibility, and now you've taken on the burdens of the other person. So if the other person has like an obsessive personality, or maybe they're just fucking crazy and they like to complain, like, you have to deal with that. That now is your burden, because you're in a relationship, and it's not like you can just snap your fingers and leave the relationship, because you've been together for such a long time. And this is what you have to consider or think about before you get into a relationship. Do you want to lose like that freedom that you have of like being alone and being just with yourself, and not having to deal with other people's problems? Because when you get into that relationship, that's it. You're a part of that person's reality, and you're gonna have to deal with a lot of this shit. So really think about that before you get into a relationship, because I've been in many relationships where I had to deal with a lot of bullshit from girls. Like I got into the relationship because I was like, oh my god, we're having sex, it's awesome, this girl loves me. And I have this issue with attachment. So like when I or not attachment, but when I meet a girl, like I want to be accepted, and I try to be accepted. And I used to be really needy, and I used to always like try to be a certain way so that the girl would like me. And so I don't care like the girl quality. I would always like pick a girl that was smart or beautiful, because I have standards. But I didn't really consider like the bitchiness of the girl, or like how much she complains, or if she's fucked up in the head, because I was just looking at the beauty mostly. yeah, I got into relationships where the girl was beautiful, and then it was good, like the sex was nice and we were having some fun times. But when it came to like just normal stuff, you know, and seeing each other like every day, it got to the point where it just became really annoying, and I didn't want to deal with that. So yeah, I've been in situations where, you know, where I just wanted to quit and leave, but I couldn't, because I was with that girl for maybe a few months or a few years, and there was already some attachment, there was already some responsibility on both of our parts, and we had to commit. And you know, the only reason maybe that I got out of those relationships is it got so bad that I was just like, I can't deal with this shit anymore, and I just broke off the relationship or tried to avoid the girl. But obviously it was like the hardest thing to do, to break up with the girl, because we've been together for so long. So I have some attachment to her and she has some attachment to me, and just like saying, all right, now we're over, is such a fucking hard thing to do. But that's why it's really important to think ahead and think why you're actually getting into the relationship. Because if you're getting into the relationship because you feel lonely or sad, that's not a good reason to get into it, because you're gonna be the fucking person that complains, you're gonna be the person that creates all the problems, and you're gonna make the relationship really bad for the other person, or again, the other way around. You know, you gotta make sure that the reason why the girl wants to date you is not just because she needs someone in her life. It should be a higher reason. For example, like you have the same passions and you're working on towards the same things, you're both ambitious, or you just have a similar outlook on life. So really consider that and think about that for the long run. So that's it. Siemanko.